Hi, and welcome to Waggin Train Wednesday. I'm Dr. Scott Broussard, and today we're going to continue our series on dental care, specifically focusing on preventative measures that you can do at home. So, without any further ado, first and most important, I would say if you could get your dog or cat in the habit of brushing their teeth, hands down, best way you can do it. I know, don't shoot me, it's not easy to do. You have to train them early. If you have a young dog especially, start them early. Start them as soon as you get them. You may not start with a toothbrush in your hand, but start fooling with their lips, touch their gums, rub their teeth, whatever you have to do to get them used to having something in their mouth. It's helpful. It helps us later on as veterinarians when we have to do exams, and what's the first thing we always do? We put them on a table and we start looking in their mouth. If they're used to it, it makes our job a lot easier, safer, and it allows your dog to have a much more thorough exam as well. So, that being said, brushing their teeth early and often is paramount. That's the first thing if you can do it. A couple of thoughts about that. Number one, if you can use a toothbrush, you want to use a toothbrush, great. If not, I find that the easier thing is what we call a finger cot. It looks basically like a thimble. I don't have one to show you, unfortunately, but it looks like a thimble with bristles on the end. I just feel like that's such a more natural way and unobstructive way to get in an animal's mouth. So you can use that. Second thought about that is we often want to brush our teeth with a real minty toothpaste, much like we would use. You're probably not going to have a whole lot of success with that. We might like the smell or taste of it. They will not, I can assure you. So with these guys, I try to focus on either chicken or, I think this one is a chicken flavor. Yep, chicken flavored or a malt flavor is another common one that you will see. You got to go something that the dog's going to like. If you don't, again, good luck. You're going to be fighting an uphill battle for sure. That's number one. Number two is food. They have to eat every day, all right? Why not feed them something that's going to help their teeth? This is literally what I feed my own cats at home. They make it for dogs as well. But Science Diet or Hills makes a product called TD. It literally stands for Tartar Diet. The premise is very simple. Each kibble of food is pretty good size. For a cat, they're probably about like that. For a dog, they're pretty good size. The premise behind that is it forces the animal to have to chew the food. Certain dogs especially will try to engulf their food and not even chew it. This does not allow that to happen. They have to chew it. And number two, and more importantly, it's the way that the food is put together. It has a matrix of fibers that prevent the food from just shattering and breaking. The point of the story is when they chew it, it rubs on the side of their tooth with every bite. Imagine you eating an apple. Every time you bite into that apple, it rubs on the side of your tooth. In this case, it's strong enough, in most cases, to take off plaque that's on the surface of the tooth. Keep in mind, it will not take off tartar once it's there. Tartar, calculus, whatever we want to call it, it's as hard as this tabletop. It's not going anywhere. That's where we have to scale it. That's next week. But for preventative measures, a dental diet like this is a very, very good idea. Like I said, they have to eat every day. Why not do something that's going to help their teeth? Last thing that I'm a huge fan of are these guys, Oravet. We sell these guys exclusively as far as treats. It's not to say other treats are not good. They are. I like Oravets a lot because they're very dense. Same premise I talked about with the food. Every time they bite, this chew will rub on the side of the tooth and is very effective at rubbing off plaque. The other benefit of them, and this is the only one on the market that I'm aware of, it contains an additive called delmapinol, and what the neat thing about that one is that particular chemical prevents bacteria from adhering to the surface of the tooth. And that's where it all starts. You get bacteria first, which leads to pellicle, which leads to plaque, which leads to tartar, which leads to C&V for dental cleaning. So if you can prevent it where it all begins, that's the way to go. It's not going to last for days or weeks at a time. They're labeled to be a treat a day, so they're probably going to, maybe 2 or 3 minutes is about how long the dog will chew on that, but that's 2 or 3 minutes of consistently rubbing on the side of the tooth and getting that kind of action that you need. Guys, I think that's it. Stay tuned in. Next week we will talk about cleaning of teeth. If you actually are not able or successful to do these measures, we'll talk about what it takes when we actually have to do a dental cleaning on your dog. And keep in mind, February is National Dental Month. If this is the perfect time to get this kind of thing done, if you need to. Most veterinarians, us included, are running specials, so it's a great time of year to get those teeth addressed and taken care of. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.